Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and wow, my Veve collectible NFTs and vault value has skyrocketed. I'm sure all of your collectibles have as well, so as Veve collectors, we're sitting pretty, but what about OMI? Yeah, it's up, but is it finally ready for moves, and does it have the stuff to actually break its all-time high of 0.014, just over 1 cent? In this video, I'm going to cover some of the OMI catalysts that are finally happening and what some of the results may look like. If you're still hodling your OMI and have been dollar cost averaging down, then I think you will like this video. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community, feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. So let's start by where OMI is at right now. So as you can see over the past 3 months, OMI has been down, it's been up, it's been way down, and then kind of just stuck around that 0.005 to 0.006 range for quite some time. But over the past 3 days, it's actually shot up to over 30%, going from 0.005, maybe 0.0053, all the way up to where it's at now at 0.0068. But why did this happen? Well, it really took off because of 2 main reasons during the OMI migration swap explanation AMA that Veve and Ecomi did. The first piece is that Reese actually alluded, did not confirm, but alluded that there was going to be higher tiers coming to the OMI utility program article, that the next one should be coming soon. So originally we saw the first of roughly 25K and 50K OMI, and it looks like, I haven't heard the newest one, but several people are saying that Reese just said they would have 2 more high staking tiers for probably around 25K and 50K for the whales out there. And again, this is a substantial difference from the original tiers of 1K OMI for the first tier, $5,000 worth of OMI for the second tier, and $10,000 worth of OMI for the third tier. But again, that created the initial movement of people who actually listened in on that and on the hypothetical. What do you think is going to happen when the version 2 OMI utility program article comes out and it's there in black and white letters of what those tiers and added benefits are and what their dollar amounts are? It's going to create a bit of a panic FOMO for those whose bags aren't big enough yet to hit those staking tiers. Okay, but why? Well, because look at what is happening in the Veve app. The collectibles are on a rampage. People are making stupid amounts of money, to the point where several will be able to quit their jobs or actually make flipping Veve collectibles a full-time job. And they're going to want to keep doing so with all of the added benefits that staking OMI gives you. It gives you that substantial edge over others in the Veve app. And that's just on the current version 1 OUP article that we've seen. Tier 1s, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Again, this is an older article. We have a new article coming out. But accessory purchase with OMI, premium market listings with OMI, percentage points on all points earned, different badges, access to OMI drop raffle, secondary market trading in OMI, burn NFTs for points, display mint number to NFTs in showroom, renting collectibles, I think is one of the biggest pieces that no one's considering, especially as we see some of these prices get out of reach. Unlimited showrooms, expanded AR features. I mean, this is just what we've seen. With these higher tiers, they could rearrange some of these benefits to be aligned with the higher tiers, or there could be even better rewards and benefits that we just haven't seen yet that could be aligned. The other piece is having that swap in the difference between the Veve wallet and the exchange wallet, and having that staking in the Veve wallet encourages people to not sell OMI, take it off the exchange, and to buy more OMI if the value dollar amount drops underneath that 50, 25K, 10K. So people will need to buy more to maintain a high enough dollar amount for those staking tiers.
This is not confirmation. Yeah. As the value of OMI rises, if we said, okay, well, this tier is 2 million OMI, and then the OMI price doubles or quadruples, well, now you need 4 times the dollar value to achieve the same staking tiers. On that, because it is based on the dollar value, or we'll confirm this in the next OUP article, you will need to be prepared if that value drops, to add to your stake to maintain those tiers. Just for the people that are listening, obviously the idea of the staking program outside of rewarding you is to lock up some of that circulating supply. So theoretically, the more people that are staking, the more scarce the asset, the value should stabilize at the very least. But it probably means that, the earlier you stake, the better position you stand to be in to weather those fluctuations.
So let's say you have 5 million OMI at 1 cent. You qualify for that 50K staking tier, right? If that's all in the app. But then what happens if you haven't staked it yet, or by the time you unstake, but you want to restake it, and it drops to 0.009? Well, you don't want to lose all those benefits that have been making you a ton more advantages in the Veve app to get more collectibles and do added rewards and benefits. So you need to buy more OMI or fast track it to get back up to that tier. It's freaking brilliant that they've actually built this based off the dollar amount value of OMI and not total OMI, so it actually incentivizes continuous buying for fear of losing staking tiers. The other piece is we now, of course, have a hard timeline that the actual immutable migration, the swap from GoChain OMI to now an Ethereum-based immutable X OMI is happening at the end of January, 2 weeks away. But until that happens, many are still waiting, having OMI still sit on exchanges before they send them into the Veve app out of exchanges. And once that happens, some of that OMI that was more accessible to trade is now no longer going to be because it will be locked up. And potentially for quite some time. I'm not going to be taking a lot of my OMI out for a long time because I want those rewards. I'm making way too much money on Veve and I want to make more with advantages. And this hasn't hit hard in a lot of people's brains yet because timelines have always been shaky with Veve. So when that article comes out, this is the actual date. Again, in black and white font, the proof is in the pudding, our deadline, it becomes real. So around that migration, I could see us bouncing back to an additional 20% being around that 0.008 range that we've seen time and time again over the past few months that we've bounced around. But what do we know is happening after the swap? They've said it quite a few times now, and that is the exchange announcements will be coming shortly after. Now, they could announce one at a time, like here's one, let the excitement happen, and then announce another one maybe halfway through the month or whenever. But we know that they've been sitting on at least 2 or 3 exchanges for several months since May before they announced Immutable X. Or they could announce both at the same time and have more maybe come later. But if it's an app-based exchange like we're expecting, most likely KuCoin, and another middle exchange like Hotbit, that excitement alone for having more of the masses able to access and increase trading volume, we could see another 30 to 50% rise, which would break the 1 cent to 0.12. What about that all-time high, right? All-time high was 0.014. If Binance is one of those exchange announcements, Binance and KuCoin, funny enough, both have shown that each asset generally raises 43% on average between the announcement and the actual listing and rise another 7.5% on the actual listing date. So 50% in total. There's usually a consolidation after that point. But then you stack on the fact that we just broke our all-time high, which people have been waiting for since April of last year. That and during a time when most other crypto is down. The FOMO will be crazy like what we saw back then. Because OMI is flourishing and is now accessible to many other investors who weren't willing to go into Bit4X or Gate.io. So we could actually see continued gain, but a Binance announcement listing, in my opinion, could put us above that all-time high price. But why do I think KuCoin and Binance are options? Well, again, as you can see from my homies' videos from back in May, Champ and K, it was announced back in May that we were going to be expecting more exchanges. So they've been sitting on them for 8 months. And they were planning on announcing them back when it was on GoChain, right? And when you look at compatible markets with GoChain, we have Binance, KuCoin, Gate.io. When we look at a competitor like Terra Virtual Collect, we see Binance, KuCoin, Gate.io, Uniswap, which WOMI is on, Bit4X, as well as tons of other options. But Binance and KuCoin made sense when they're on GoChain, and it makes sense now they're on Ethereum. So that's the break all-time high, right? But we, of course, want much, much higher valuation of OMI because we know it's been slept on, we know it's undervalued, we know we've been stacking. But there are 2 outliers that actually could further push OMI up, whether it's in February, March, or April, like who knows with Veve. But that is when we actually get a hard date, a time when the OMI utility comes in and we can actually stake. Because again, it creates another bum rush of, hey, I need to get to this tier. So there's going to be another buying cycle. The second piece is when MTL is actually happening and rolled out for the other groups outside of beta. Because prices have gone nuts. Secret Rare Spider-Man went from $12,000 to $68,000 floor. This is outdated, but Reso went from a $5,000 floor all the way up to $25,000 above. And the Walt Partner statue went from around $8,000 all the way to a $30K floor. And there's tons like it. Givenchy Pride, Superman, Steamboat Willie. I mean, tons of them are going up in value. And when people can cash out MTL, the money transfer license, some will still hold, but some will also take profit in order to buy things or pay off bills. But many will do what has happened in investing time in and time out You sell the top and you buy the dip. They'll take profits in a hot market, which is Veve Collectibles, and reinvest it in an asset that's extremely undervalued and tied to the collectibles now, OMI. If you look at any bear cycle that's happened, you notice that Bitcoin, it'll hit a high and then it'll drop down, but then you see altcoins start to go up for quite some time before they drop down, and then we enter a full bear cycle. That's because they take profit at Bitcoin at a high and then buy the low on those altcoins because they're not ready for it to be done. They want to take those gains, reinvest them into something else, and that's what happens in financial markets. So again, going back to the premise of this video, is a new all-time high above 0.014 possible for OMI in February? Yes. Specifically, if Binance Exchange is announced, can it go higher following February? Potentially, yes. Because they've had these exchanges locked and loaded, but in 8 months, and with how much their community has built and just how much we've seen us all going crazy on Twitter, I'm sure they've been approached by many other exchanges looking for them to list, especially now that they're going to be on an Ethereum-based solution. As well as the OMI utility program article giving true utility to OMI, and again, the ability to cash out with MTL. It's been 10 months, fam. 10 months ago, I dropped my first Ecomi Veve video, and Veve has blown up to this monstrous, incredibly lucrative and disruptive NFT project. But OMI has sat stagnant because it's really had no catalyst since the Uniswap announcement back in March, April of last year, until finally 2022. Veve has solidified its strength, and there is no doubt that it will be here for years to come. And now that that's been established, OMI is going to be more readily accessible through all of these new exchanges and used by us crazy Veve collectors to have advantages on drops and able to spend our stack of OMI directly on those NFTs. And that's just what we know right now. They haven't even said what OMI's utility will be once the Veveverse comes later on this year. So if you're an OMI investor who's just been waiting on the sidelines, waiting for this thing to pop, I wouldn't worry. OMI's time to shine is right at our doorstep. As always, I hope you find my content valuable, and if so, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, man. Happy trading.